Hello, everyone, and welcome into your daily card reading for Friday, October 6th, where we'll be taking a look at what all messages want to come through for you from God, Spirit, the Divine. So before we look at the individual sign groupings, we'll take a look at 3 cards for the collective in general and see what all messages are coming through. All right, so we've got our King of Swords in reverse, Queen of Swords in reverse, and 5 of Wands. So, let me scoot over just a little bit here. So with our 5 of Wands, this is kind of this energy of like some conflict and some anger and things like that that are surfacing. And with both of our swords in reverse, there's this sense of like criticism and cynicism and some bluntness, as well as like this coldness. So this is this very cold, kind of confrontational, antagonistic type of energy that's coming through. So let's see what all context we can get with that. For today, let's start with our fire signs. So that's going to be our Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and see what comes up for you. The Strength card. So this is that reminder to persevere. So even though there's kind of this cold, confrontational type of energy, you're being encouraged to just, keep going. Don't give up. Things will be getting a little bit better here soon, hopefully. Let's take a look at our Moon card for you. Believe in the impossible. So if you're in that feeling of like almost like helplessness, that, oh my gosh, like nothing's working out right, and it's making you kind of bitter and cold and cynical, and like you feel that sense of like weakness and almost like a little bit of that sense of like cruelty going along with this conflict and this anger, you're being called upon to, have strength and, believe in the impossible. Nothing is beyond the capabilities of the universe and God, and, things will get better. So it says, fill your cup with sacred giggles. So this is kind of that reminder of, there's strength in happiness. And so rather than letting whatever this situation is that has you filled with kind of this conflict and this cold, bitter type of energy, whatever that is, like find your happy spot. What is it that makes you happy? So rather than just slugging it out and pushing through and saying, okay, well, I'm just going to, double down and work harder and try to get through this, there is something to be said for taking a step back and recharging, and that's going to be what's going to give you your strength. So that's that strength in the giggles. And then this card that I pulled is, whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it. And this was an Eckhart Tolle quote. And that's there in terms of trying to help get you out of that mindset of victimhood, because you are a co-contributor in your experience. So whether it's that, even if you feel like, oh, this is happening to me instead of for me, acknowledging that your continued presence in the situation is also perpetuating it. Like, you have to accept it that you chose this, whether happily, whether begrudgingly, or whether through inaction you've participated. Let's take a look at the timing of when it seems like some of this heavy energy is going to move through. So for our fire signs, spring is when it looks like some of that's going to move through. And so since this is kind of this heavy energy, I'll pull that for each of the signs to see kind of when it looks like the timing might pass on some of this heavy energy. Had some getting away from me there. All right, let's take a look at our earth signs next. So that's going to be our Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. What is coming through for you? The Hierophant. And this is that card about, it has to do with traditions, but it also, and sometimes like being confined by them, like thinking inside the box, but it's also that teacher, mentor, guru. So reaching out, if you're struggling with these feelings, this is almost kind of like this closed off, the feeling of like your heart is closed off. And, you know, especially with these reds here, you know, looking for a guru, looking for some sort of guidance from a, you know, a teacher to help get you past that. Sometimes that can also be a sense of like reaching out to a counselor. You might be finding resources online. You might be finding things like that. But this one is saying a win-win forecast, or a win-win outcome is forecast. Full moon in Libra. So that's the Libra energy is coming in right now. And it's this whole idea of, okay, if you're battling with somebody and there's this conflict, it isn't a matter of you need to win, like you need to beat them down in order to win. Like you two can both win, whatever this conflict is, you can both win. And, you know, sometimes winning, sometimes ending the argument, whatever that looks like, is a win. So it's not a matter of like, I have to overpower you, I have to get my way, and that's what a win-win is. Sometimes just walking away and just saying this is done is a win for both of you. All right. What do you really want? This is your Sacred Creator card. What do you really want? So when you're sitting here and you have this sense of like conflict and you're battling with somebody, what is it that you really want? Like, is it that you really want, like if you're, you know, let's use this example. If you're in a bad situation with a love partner and, you know, things aren't very good and you're fighting to try to hold on to it, is it that you really want them, or is it that you want to win? So there's a difference of if you're trying to turn a corner and start a loving path, or is it that you're just trying to win, or are you just trying to punish the other person? Like, what is it that you really want? At your core, you probably really want happiness. So you have to see what it is, like, what is your objective? If you're looking for a win-win outcome, what is your objective? And think about why is that your objective? All right. And then this, sorry about that little blip there. So, so this is for our earth signs. This last card was you're stronger than you think. So remember to just persevere and you're going to get through this funky energy. We will pull a timing card for you as well to see when this, I'll call it this conflict and this kind of like bitter type of energy is going to pass by. After the Tower. So it looks like there's going to be some big major change that's coming, and ultimately it's going to be a win-win. It's going to feel like it's this terrible collapse, but it's going to put you in a place where you're going to be able to get what it is that you really want. And so, you know, especially as we look at those colors going together, this win-win is going to come on the heels of this Tower. So that's what is in the forecast for our earth signs. Now let's move on to our water signs. So that's going to be our Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And let's see what is coming through for you. All right. The High Priestess. So this is that divine feminine energy, this inner wisdom, this knowledge, this kind of confidence, this higher consciousness, like that sort of energy. So if you're, whoa, sorry about that. So if you're feeling like there's a lot of conflict right now and you're feeling like it's this kind of cold, standoffish type of energy, this is calling on you to look to that higher consciousness and that inner wisdom and let yourself flow into that divine feminine state to move past whatever this conflict is that's coming up. It's time to release negativity. Full moon in Scorpio. And so this is really key, you know, when we talk about that inner wisdom and that higher consciousness, it's how do we how do we let go of whatever these negative patterns are for us in our life that just keep creating conflict and keep creating that turmoil. And so that's really what you're being called to do right now. All right, let's take a look at our Sacred Creator card, changes. So there's some changes coming up. So if you can sit in this High Priestess energy, you're going to see some changes coming in. You're going to see some of these patterns breaking down in a good way for you. The ones that are, you know, if you're in this energy of conflict and kind of this cold, standoffish energy, if you can move into this High Priestess energy, you will see changes in the situation. And as a note on that, that doesn't mean that whatever somebody else has done, oh, I love them, and it's fine. It's not that. It's not like pushover energy. It's being able to lovingly look at the situation and say, you know, how do we make it work? If it's not going to work, how do we both release and move on? Whether that's a work dynamic, a friendship, family patterns, romantic partnership, whatever the case may be. Then it says, sit in the stillness and a new path will emerge. And this actually, I feel like this goes, you know, that orangish color really goes well with this as well. That if you're kind of stuck and you don't really know what to do, and you're just kind of stuck in that almost like dead feeling, you know, like where you don't have a lot of love, you don't have a lot of warm and fuzzies, and you don't really know what to do. If you just kind of sit in the stillness, something will come to you. So stop trying to think your way out of it. And with the High Priestess, with that inner wisdom and that intuition and higher consciousness, let that come in. But in order to do that, you have to quiet your ego mind, that monkey mind. So timing wise, let's see, when does it look like this heavy conflict, heavy energy phase will pass for our water signs? Around your birthday. So depending on when that is, and if your birthday is really far off, don't get discouraged, because sometimes part of the journey can be started before that, and maybe it's like the final piece of it, the final release of that negativity will happen around your birthday. So all right, last but not least, we have our air signs. So that's going to be our Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Let's see what messages are coming through for you for today. All right, the Sun. So this is that card about your blessings are coming in. So even though there's conflict and there's kind of this like cold energy out there, don't lose faith, because your blessings are coming in, and you will be feeling that abundance and feeling that happiness here soon. All right. Your dreams need a practical plan, full moon in Taurus. So if you've been feeling lost, like if you feel like there's all this conflict and you don't really know, you know, like you kind of feel that sense of stagnation, part of it is work on your practical plan. Where is it that you want to go? Because if you don't know where you want to go, you're not going to get there, because you don't even know where you're going. You don't know what that looks like. So if you start to put your dreams in progress or in process, then you can put a little bit of a practical plan about it. And I'm not saying like map out every moment, but give it some thought. Like what are your dreams? Where is it that you want to go? And then cozy up with risk. In order to get to where you want to go, you have to take some amount of risk. So this Sun, there with those colors, there is a risk. Like you'll get that sense of blessings, but you have to be willing to risk something. If you're playing it safe and, you know, sitting there at home and not putting yourself out there at all and just kind of sitting in your own little space, you're not necessarily going to be getting all of the blessings that you want. All right. Take a step away from your current problem. So this is the whole thing of, you know, you need to take a little bit of a step back from whatever, you know, whatever all of this garbage is. to be able to see what is your dream, like where is it that you want to go, what is going to make you happy, and then kind of start to put some thought, some intention behind that, and you'll start to see different opportunities emerging. So that a lot of that, when you're taking a step away, work on your meditation, work on your grounding, work on your journaling. And when you are doing your journaling and you're putting in your gratitudes at the end of the day, no matter how small they are, make sure you're putting in at least, 3 of them. Then I would encourage you to go back and take a look and see what are the things that you're consistently grateful for. And those are things in your life maybe that you need to be doing more of. All right, let's take a look from a timing perspective. When does this heavy energy look to pass for our air signs? Fall. Well, we are in the fall right now. And so some of that with the sun and, and the risk, all of that's in those reds. So this sort of, and I would say this sort of energy are cold, call it cold, crabby, standoffish energy. Looks like it's going to be passing here very soon for you as well. So I hope today's reading has been helpful for you. And as always, take only what resonates and leave the rest behind. So there are a number of newer videos that I've posted on the channel, but make sure you hit subscribe and the notification bell to be alerted when the new videos post. I will be doing one for the upcoming eclipse. The eclipse is on the 14th, but I'll be doing a read before then. It's going to be a little bit of a different one, but I'll pull a couple cards for each individual zodiac sign, and we will see what all messages come through there. So as always, I wish you peace and joy along your journey. Until next time.